What is up? Welcome to the Smalley Talk Podcast Election Night Special, baby. Where the future of our country for the next 4 years will be determined in you think in the next several hours, Chris?
I don't know, dude. I hope so. I mean, obviously it's whatever it is, it's stolen. I mean, whoever wins, let's just call it now. We're gonna be we may be the
surprise.
the first podcast on election day to say whatever happens, it's friggin' stolen.
Definitely, dude. Cheaters. I saw Trump was already on. He's already on Twitter, saying there's I'm hearing things about cheating in Pennsylvania. I was like, good Lord.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. During voting hours.
Perfect.
Wild, dude. Jeff Daly in the house. He's on the comments. First comment, this show sucks. I love it, dude. I was really hoping Daly's gonna be present.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate you weighing in.
Yeah, dude. We were talking about different ways we could sort of make this podcast themed about the election, which we're both lazy and don't have time to do preparations. But I think I was advocating for you to dress up like Kamala, and I was going to dress up like Trump. Would have been cool, dude. I feel like you would make for a good Kamala.
Kamala.
Might be saying that for the next 4 years, dude. Have to get that name right. So
President Kamala.
Yeah, dude. I told Chris he should do the podcast from his bathtub and fill it with water and greens, dude. just lay in the bathtub. We got to get a bathtub episode at least once in the life of this podcast. So
I don't know about that. So check this out. This is perhaps the most. See all that redness?
Is that a hickey?
No, I wish. So I woke up in the middle of the night last night, like 2 a.m. I got stung by a hornet like 3 times in my sleep.
Oh my God! How did a hornet get in your house?
I have no idea. I mean, you know how it goes. The opening windows and doors for the dog and whatnot. I don't know, but I can tell you this: I'm not sure exactly if it was a hornet or a wasp. I ended up killing a hornet that I found. I just took it out. Complete vengeance attack on another.
Chris trashes his room. He's swinging things.
I woke up at 2 in the morning. Ashley was like peacefully sleeping like a little cherubian angel over there. And I go, like, wait, I mean, you know how alarming it is to get woken up to a hornet sting?
I can imagine.
It's insane.
Have I told you about the story I got stung this summer by one? Did I tell you about that?
No, I got stung 3 times. I got stung on my shoulder, and I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, I can see. I thought that was where I was sucking on your neck over the weekend, but apparently not. Oh, that was the other side? Yeah. Yeah, dude, I had this summer I was mowing my yard. It was the day before I was going. It was actually the day I was going to Florida on vacation, and I was like trying to get my yard mowed before I left. And Katie and the girls had went earlier. Remember that week that I like fished every single night? So I was like trying to hurry, get some stuff done. Me and Dustin drove down together, and I go underneath this tree that we have. It's got really low limbs, and it always like scratches me when I go under it. I have to like duck, and I go underneath of it, and just like out of nowhere, dude, I just feel these like the most pain I've experienced in like several years, like in my face, like, and I'm like, what is going on? So I floored it and like floored the mower and get like away from it. And I look back and there are like a bunch of bald-faced hornets following my mower. And I like ran inside the side of my head, like it was right 2 of them on my temple. It swells up like a size of like a golf ball in like seconds. I go and I finally like let it cool down. I go out there, dude. I didn't see it. There was a hornet's nest in that tree. I raked my face across it when I was
Oh my God.
in the yard. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I got stung twice in the face, once in the hand and once in the leg. And like, I mean, like a split second, dude, those things just lit me up.
And
So,
they feel really nice, don't they? Just a
dude,
nice.
I forgot how I forgot how much that hurt.
Yeah.
I I got
I
stung as a
got
kid, but it's been
been
a
a
long
minute since
time.
I got like I got stung like this summer. I put on one of my I left like a pair of rubber boots on my front porch and I like slipped them on one night and there was a
Mhm.
wasp in there and it stung me like in the foot. But that's the first time other than that, that's the first time I've really been like hammered by an insect in a while. It sucked,
Yeah.
man. It was
Dude, getting
not
awoken
good.
by getting stung by one, dude, that's pretty hardcore. I can't
Getting woken
imagine.
up, yeah, it was like
Yeah.
out of nowhere in the night.
It was like you weren't sure if
My
your
wife
wife
was
was giving you
attempting
a hand
murder.
job or if you were getting stung, one of the
I
2.
thought she was attempting a murder upon me. I sprang to my feet, gun in hand.
Yeah.
I
Um,
just started
well,
blasting. I understand, and I was not party to this, but tonight you're releasing the results of the 20-inch,
yeah.
leaderboard, is that right?
I'm pretty pumped, dude. I'm more excited. I'm probably as excited for this episode as I have been since like I won the tournament last year. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, we got the 20-inch leaderboard, and I don't look at it until like right before I release it usually. So I
Mm.
knew I was kind of leaving it as a surprise for me. I was like, oh, what's going on, and I pulled up. I ran the report, pulled it up, and I was like, a lot of movement on there.
Oh,
Um,
boy. Are you wanting to, like, do that towards the end of the show? I mean, obviously,
yeah, I think we should.
we
Yeah.
provided 0 game plan for this episode, so
No, I mean, I think one, this is the first OG episode we've done in a while, so I definitely
yeah.
think we need to, just bullshit a little bit. There's a lot of fishing we haven't really covered. You and I had a hell of a trip on Sunday, dude.
Oh my
Like
god, just so many
hell of a
fish.
trip, dude.
So many fish. Yeah, Josh and I went, I guess we can just say where we went, I guess.
Yeah, I don't. You're more than welcome to go there.
Yeah. I mean, do we wanna burn that spot or
Yeah, I know it was
uh,
pretty hot spot, dude.
it's
Not
a
gonna
very
lie.
hot spot. I'm not sure if we actually wanna burn it, but, um, actually, so I think that they released the results of that tournament, so why don't you kinda start off and just say where it went, and then I'll, take a look at the results of the tournament that was there at the same time and make sure we
I
didn't get
saw it.
too publicly
I s-
shamed.
I saw the results. It wasn't that great. It was. I mean, yeah, well, so Chris and I decided to do this thing we've been talking about for several years. Chris actually attempted it last year, but like unsuccessfully, and thought we were like, oh, we can go do it this year. We have a little bit more, knowledge on it. So the idea is the Tippecanoe River that we fish a lot. There's kind of two different sections of river. There's above the two lakes, Freeman and Schaefer, and then below. We always fish below. That's kind of like our, one of our home waters, tailwater. It's, I think about 20 miles long down to the confluence of the Wabash. Well, we've heard, it's like in the fall, um, at Lake Schaefer, these fish will winter in the lake. And if you catch them kind of at the right time, you can run up into the river and sort of intercept them as they're coming down to winter in the lake. And it was it was kind of like a little bit of a exploration experiment, whatever like you want to call it. So we're like, hey, the rivers are dry around here. There's very little flow anywhere. So we're like, let's take the jet and let's go. First mistake, I was like, Chris, my impeller on uh my jet is fucked. And it's like worn down to the point where it like will barely get on plane. I need a new impeller and a sleeve. I was like, let's take your boat. And last second, Chris was like, "Hey, I got in a wreck." I think you said, didn't you say a gay man rear-ended you? Isn't that what you said?
Oh, no, an old lady in a costume. It was Halloween night.
Oh, what
I
was
got
she wearing,
rear-ended by
dude?
I got
Was it
rear-ended by a
sexy?
skeleton. Yeah.
A slutty skeleton? Is that what it was?
She had handicap plates, so not bad.
That's how you like them. I once asked Chris what was too old. What was an age that was too old for him to sleep with? And this was probably 5 years ago. I
Mhm.
wanna say it was 70. I wanna say that was the age you gave.
I think it
You're
was
like
higher than that for sure. I mean, eventually we're all gonna be banging 70-some-year-olds, so
Maybe.
when you're unable, I'll be still doing the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyways, we
anyway.
went in my jet, and that was the first thing, it's like kind of a joke. Chris is like on the front deck trying to like stand and get this thing help like
It was
shift the weight to
it
get
was
us on
pretty
the
bad.
plane. Yeah. It was like really like it actually ended up the boat ended up getting a little bit better. I think it's because I long story. I'm not gonna go into it, but it did get a little bit better. But we go run up in the lake and yeah, we get there and there's a bass tournament going on, which wasn't a huge deal. It wasn't a big one, but yeah, we got up there. You can take it from here though. I
I
want to
mean,
hear.
we just ran pretty far up the river, I would say, until we couldn't really run anymore just because, like, the requirement of, like, because I mean, obviously, if, like, there were no leaves in the water, we probably could have ran, like, all the way up,
Yeah,
as far as we wanted, even though the water was low, but, like, we had to keep kinda stopping, and because the water was extremely shallow, we couldn't really get back on plane, so eventually we just kinda called it, and I would say the river was void of life, probably because it was so low. Most of the fish had probably dropped down. Um, I don't know. All day, let's just put it this way: we fished all day and we caught three total fish, four
yeah,
total,
4. Yeah,
four total
I
fish. So
yeah, I think I think that you're probably right. We kind of theorize like what because those guys fishing in the lake obviously caught fish. It wasn't a ton,
they
but
didn't do great. No,
no, they didn't do great, but they definitely we get up we didn't even know there was a tournament going on. We just knew that there was like guys fishing. We're like running past them
I
and
think I think 10 pounds got
yeah,
top four or top three. Yeah, ten
yeah,
pounds got top three. So I think somebody
wasn't
got. I
great.
think they won it with 12. So.
Yeah, and I did see that like, I went back and looked some of the historical tournaments on that, like, they have, like, Wednesday night derbies or whatever, and, like, it's rare for more than, like, 5 people to have a limit on those tournaments, like, there's a lot of 4 and 3 fish, so I tend to think there were a lot of limits posted for how many guys there were, so I do think that those fish had moved down, and they were all up there fishing, but they weren't as far as we went, um but we went up to a we went up and basically we're like, "Dude, we can't traverse this." So we turned around and floated back and, we get down to the section and it was, like, pretty immediate. We're like, boom, boom. I think I caught 2 in a row, you caught 1 because we were talking about, we can't skunk, dude, we can't skunk. And then we kept going and we did catch or we had a couple more. I had one real nice fish eat the prototype, and then essentially like we ran out of luck after that. We fished a long way, didn't even move, didn't bump a fish. I think there were probably a section of fish that had come down from the river that were up high where we were at that first kind of deep area, and
Right.
then I think the rest of them were either resident lake fish or just like were way down further where most of the bass boats were fishing, and we were kind of in the middle of like no man's land. I think that's what happened a decent
Hmm.
amount.
Well, anyways, it was a shitty trip. So you guys are welcome to go give that one a whirl on your own time. So you want to hear the latest election
Yeah,
news here?
I looked
It
at it
looks
right
like
before we got online.
Trump got Florida. They're calling Florida for Trump.
Yeah,
Kamala is leading in North Carolina, Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania.
and Pennsylvania. But Pennsylvania, they've only counted the Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and Erie.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but Anyways, I don't know. So that's happening.
Yeah.
Good
It's
stuff.
I've heard everything that I've heard on. Oh, I also what was that? I voted today. You got
I
your
can see
sticker,
that,
dude?
dude. I'm so proud of you.
I did. I felt very patriotic when I was pushing those buttons, dude.
Just pushing them so damn good.
I I thought about, what I was gonna say, like, serious about the election,
Mm,
and I think, anybody who listens to this podcast know that we're not political at all. I just wish once in my life, once, that, like, there would emerge a candidate
right,
that I would be like, "Hell yeah."
right.
Like, there has not been that my entire life. There's not been one where I was just like, "Yes, I'm excited."
Maybe
Like,
in primaries. I think
yeah,
I've been
I'm
excited
talking I'm
for
I'm talking about, yeah, primaries, I've definitely been excited, but that doesn't, I'm talking about a candidate that comes out of one of the 2 major parties that you're just like, "Dude, I would go have a beer with that guy," like, or
right.
whoever, like,
You're
just
talking
like,
other than Mitt Romney, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure. It was the John
Mitt.
McCain. Who else we got? Dude,
Mm.
there's some wild candidates over the years, with Trump being the wildest by far, but there's just some.
I gotta say, like, whatever, take this for whatever you will. I'm pretty excited that this is perhaps the last Trump candidacy. Uh,
Yeah, I would say 100%.
I'm ready for, like, a new chapter. I'm ready for
Yes.
somebody else, like a
Ready to
new
turn the page and go to, like,
right.
honestly, more so, like,
I'm ready to lick all the Cheeto dust off my fingers and move on to the next course. That's what I'm ready for.
yeah, because if Trump loses, though, I mean, I guess he would probably be too old to run again, but potentially, you wouldn't put it past him, though. I don't put it
I'd
past
like
him,
to
right?
put it past him. I'd like to put this chapter behind us. I'd like to no matter what happens, I'd rather and you know what else I'd like? And this is gonna sound really crazy. I would like for the Democratic Party to, maybe hold like a free, open, and fair primary for
Yeah,
the first time in a long time.
they sacked Bernie, now they sacked Biden, dude. They've been really rigging these primaries for the
Been
last
rigging the
several
damn
elections.
game for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
I'm ready
Pretty
for,
bad.
I'm ready for a real change, a hope change, all of it, you know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I
Maybe
mean,
we'll run, dude. Maybe we'll run.
dude,
You can be
what would
president, I'll
be
be
our
VP, dude.
you're calling me VP? You're saying I'm
No,
VP?
I'll be VP. I'll concede and be the
Okay.
VP because I don't want the stress of being the
You're just gonna
head
be eye
dog.
candy.
And you're a lawyer, so,
Right.
like, you have more credentials to be a presidential candidate. I feel like we could run. What would our ticket be, dude? What word am I looking for?
What
Uh,
like our main
a
issue?
platform.
Yeah, our
Like,
platform.
what's our
Um,
platform?
man, I don't know. We could there's so many different options. I
We could
mean,
just have, like, one major headline that says, "We're not douchebags." Like, that would be,
we're normal people.
well, we're normal people. We like to fish. We're not gonna do anything crazy. I mean,
Right.
realistically, like, yeah, I don't feel like there would be a ton of prerequisites to be the president. Like, as far as, like, I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm
It's
old
like,
enough now. I mean, I think,
yeah,
barely 37 now, so just made it.
yeah, yeah.
But,
There's Nick
yeah,
Crowley
no,
over
I
there
mean,
talking
there
about
really aren't
Anthony
a lot of
Richardson. Did you
I
see
mean,
that?
obviously, you can be a convicted felon, and still potentially get elected, so,
Well, I'm
that
just talking about more like the daily, like, duties. Like, do you have to have experience in politics? And I'm sure it would, be pretty intimidating if you
yeah,
were, like, thrust into
yeah.
a position like that as, like,
It'd be
someone
like
who
if you took over the helm at Microsoft and you just never worked a day in tech. And you're like,
probably be tough.
"No, my background is actually, like, I don't know, in self-storage containers, but yeah, I'm equipped to run Microsoft." Be like, "Oh, Okay, you can do it. Go off, King. Yeah, I don't know, dude. The whole thing's very kooky. I mean, that's the story nobody's talking about, you know. A lowly convicted felon just got the nomination of his party and is potentially going to win the presidency. A
Now the
convicted a convicted
now
felon. What
now
a
the
inspirational story to rise from like a phoenix from the ashes of felonious behavior to the highest office in the land. I mean, that's an inspiration. That's
now
a Lifetime movie waiting to happen. I don't give a shit.
now give me a little bit of like because I will fully admit Chris is way more informed politically than me. Isn't the story behind these felonies that they were they're fabricated charges from the Democrats to basically try to disqualify Trump? Is this true?
Them some deep waters, brother. It probably just depends on your perspective. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't really want to. Wade
Well,
too
I'm
deep
not
into it.
saying whether that
Not because like not
I'm not
because
saying
I'm
whether it's true or not. I'm just saying,
yeah.
isn't that sort of the allegations? If you're in defense of
If
those
if Trump
felonies,
is my client and I'm defending him, yeah, I'm gonna say it's a political prosecution. It's a witch hunt. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's campaign finance stuff. Nobody understands that stuff. It's a very loose, tenuous sort of claim, you know, that that all of this was done to benefit his campaign. So I don't know. I mean, that's definitely an argument. Probably not a completely invalid argument if you're being intellectually honest about it. Um,
you're
yeah,
getting
I
into
mean,
deep water, dude. Do I need
but
to do I need to drag you out of the pool?
no, I mean, but he's got, you know, the other felony charges like for classified storage, like classified documents retention and stuff like that are probably pretty valid. That I think they've got him dead to rights on those. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like the whole thing will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if Trump pardons himself, if that's even allowable. I don't
Holy
even know if that's
crap, dude.
allowed. And I'm a lawyer,
Holy
and I think
crap.
it's just like I have no idea if that's even allowed. So it's never even been contemplated. It's like, you know, broken mold type situation. So I don't know. The whole thing's kooky. You know, no good can come of it. I've had several texts. I've got a canned response. Several people, you know, kind of reach out and say, "Hey, who do you think's going to win or whatever?" And I said, "Who do you think will be our next president?" And I said, "Well, whoever it is, it's someone who will work tirelessly to take your money and make you less free." That's pretty much how I feel
Ain't that
about
the
it.
truth, dude?
I
Ain't that the
really don't
freaking truth?
care. I mean, I do kind of care who wins. I think they're both pretty bad. So, you know,
I think that's a general consensus among like people our age. I've n- maybe there might be some like rabid Trump fans. There probably is like people that I'm friends with, but for the
oh yeah,
most part, I
no doubt.
don't. Yeah, probably. But I mean, we also live in a very red state, so it's hard to judge that. But I would say I don't know
Yeah,
any
Trump won almost 2 to
rabid
1 in
I
Indiana.
don't know any rabid like Kamala fans that I know in
Hmm.
particular. I know people who
Mostly
say
I mean,
don't vote for Trump.
that's the whole problem with the Democratic Party right now is that they have no platform. Like their platform is anti-Trump, and that's really no platform at all. Like their platform, when you really think about them with regard to the issues, it's pretty devastating. I mean, it's a pro-trans, open border,
Is that not a
potentially
good platform for you, dude?
World
I
War
thought I always
III.
thought you were a pro trans guy.
I mean, I am, but it's just such a small, like, fraction of the population, and it's
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
so divisive and polarizing that, and I mean, they're essentially pro. I mean, which you could say that Trump is anti-abortion, I guess, but they're pro-abortion, trans rights, open border, World War III. And like the biggest campaign promise is like we're gonna increase taxes. It's like
Isn't
what
that wild how they
what
that's
the
like
hell is that?
they're openly They're open
Well,
like
it's
I mean,
only on the uber rich. You're like,
yeah.
I mean, we all know we're on the. If you're a smart person, you know that that's how they start it. It's not. I mean, but Trump's honestly like, the tariff thing is a hidden tax too. I mean, that's actually a more direct tax on the middle class and lower class. I mean, that's essentially that cost is going to be transferred to the consumer. It's not like,
Amazon will not be pennies anymore if that happens, dude, because
no, I
all
mean that's
that
the thing.
stuff's coming
Like
from China.
all of our imported goods are just going to increase. Like the cost of them is going to increase. So, I don't know. That's why I'm saying from a policy side, I definitely think I like Trump more on foreign policy. I just think he's kind of, um, more realistic. Um, and I think that Kamala, with if her foreign policy parrots Biden's at all, I think it's pretty worrisome. So I don't know. There's a lot of the issues are sort of hidden by the absolute train wreck of who these people are. So I don't know, man. It's all very kooky and weird. It'll all be worked out. I think the bottom line is it's kind of like COVID, like when we were doing these shows, like right on the precipice of COVID or like as that was happening. Like at the end of the day, it really will have a marginal impact on how you live your life. And
Yeah.
like it's not the end of the world. It's not going to change very much.
Well,
Um,
and
you know,
that's the question I always ask myself is like, based on who wins, like, how is my life gonna change? And I think a lot of people look at things that happen, and some of them probably are driven by the effects that the government, puts in place, but realistically, it's like people like to pretend that it's like, "Oh, the government controls the economy." Like, they don't really control the economy. There's a lot of factors that go into that, and there's no one person that can come in and just, like, fix stuff. Like, it's so many, like, factors, and, like, yeah, the the government does control things like interest rates and that sort of stuff or tax policy, but at the end of the day, it's like, dude, our entire, like, history of our economy, it's waxed and waned. I don't think anybody planned to start the depression. It's just kind of like there are factors that happen. It's like, but every candidate comes in and they say, I'm going to fix everything. And it's like, well, realistically, I don't think that's true. And even if they did put things in place to fix it, it probably wouldn't even happen until the next term. Those effects wouldn't see completion until the next 4 years, and they're not even here. So I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know, man. It's all kooky. I don't yeah, I don't know. I just I do worry more about I guess the overall um like the public mood, I guess more. I worry about that and like how discouraged everyone is with the quality of candidates that are being put forward and I just think that there's almost no trust that which is maybe a good thing, that I don't think there's any trust that like the people that are running for office have any of your best interests at heart. They're all just doing their own thing. And,
Yeah. I mean,
I think that kind of
I've
goes back to your original point. It would be nice to be able to vote for somebody that you have some actual respect for and feel like they are in it for the right reason.
I've had some respect for candidates, like, I didn't like everything Obama did, I respected him. I mean,
Yeah,
I
no
feel like
doubt.
I respected I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of heinous things that happened under George W., but, at least, like,
Mm.
when he was being elected the first time, like, I was like, "Oh, he seems like a, fairly."
Hell of a pitch at that Yankees game, though.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite, like, highlights is him walking out in October in Yankee Stadium and throwing an absolute dart from the mound. I mean, that was an incredible moment. I remember watching that, so, yeah. I don't know, man. It's all weird. It'll all be fine. I hope. I think it will be. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
I think I hope, and I actually feel like and maybe it's because I've kind of muted a lot of it, but I do feel like 2020 there was just so much hysteria, around what the election results would be, and kind of, I hope that, and it feels like this time it's been a little bit more muted. I think part of that is just because there's been there's no quote unquote good choice, so.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think. I mean, there are people who will really like Trump. I don't know. There's a lot of people who like Harris. They just don't like Trump. But
They
I
might
mean,
have liked her if there would have been a
if she
true and
wasn't a
genuine
scab, dude,
primary.
she was a
Yeah.
scab. She was like, like, oh wait, Biden is senile. We're gonna roll her
I
out
mean,
there.
if there was an actual competition of ideas in the Democratic Party, there might have emerged a true following of Harris. It's sort of a shame that they deprived her of that opportunity. But
Yeah,
I'd rather have what we've got now than potentially have a senile person with nuclear launch codes. So,
dude. Yeah,
well, I guess we
that's
might still have a senile person with nuclear launch codes, but a confirmed senile person who's,
wild.
with nuclear launch codes. I don't know. Anyways, it's all good. I'm sure that 80, if you were expecting anyone to stick around and watch the results of your 20-inch leaderboard, they probably are
Nah,
cursing me right now in their
there's people
homes.
I think people are interested in this stuff. I mean, we're better than, CNN or Fox, so, like, come on now. Like, if you watch I was watching some of it before I came in here, I was like, "This is a snooze fest." But,
Yeah.
yeah, getting to the fishing side,
Do it, dude.
um, getting to the
Bail
f
me out. You pushed me into this.
I mean,
This is
look,
horse shit, dude. You
like
did this to me.
like, I put on Instagram and Facebook that we were gonna be talking politics tonight, so
Yeah.
and I'll say the last thing about that whole deal is just same thing you were saying, it's like, dude, out of how many people what's the population of the United States?
I
Like,
think like 400
approximate.
million.
Yeah, so 400,000,000
Hmm.
people. The 2 people that we get to choose from are Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Then rewind it, it was Biden and Trump last year, and then even before that, it was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Like, do we not have 2 better people in our society that could, like? Because I mean, that office is supposed to represent the best of us. Like, it should, in theory, represent the best of us, and I don't think anybody in their right mind could actually say that any of the candidates over the last 4 elections have 3 elections represented the best of us. Like, I
I mean, at
just
least the Democrats have an excuse for like what they ended up with. Like, I mean, there was an open primary in the Republican Party, and that's who they picked. People turned out in massive numbers for Trump. They had good candidates. They had DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Tim Scott, people that were highly qualified, highly intelligent, people with great credentials. Nikki Haley was
there
a
were people on the
actor for
Democrat
CNN.
side that I liked as well. At least I liked you
Yeah,
never really know. I feel like the other thing is we shouldn't keep talking about this. It was like you might like somebody, like, for instance, I'm just like, I like JD Vance. Like, I think I've listened to him enough to be like, yeah, I identify with that guy. He seems smart. I'm sure there's if he ends up getting the nomination next year, he will be a completely different person in the public eye than he is right now because politics just completely just annihilates any sort of like goodwill that the public has towards people. And uh, I was listening to a podcast with John Fetterman, the
yeah,
senator, and
right.
he was talking about that. He was like, try going 6 months where people are literally putting billboards up of your face and trying to like smear your reputation. It's like, dude, by the end of a political campaign, you're gonna be like demonized by a lot of
No
people.
doubt.
A lot of
Fetterman
people.
seems like maybe it's just the hoodie, but he
I
does
love
seem
that, dude.
he
I
does
love
seem like
that, dude.
I mean, I probably would disagree with him on a lot of issues, but he does seem like a normal person. I mean, yeah, I don't
He's
know, and
pretty
I do feel
normal.
like
The Rogan episode with him was you should definitely listen to it. He just had a stroke not too
yeah, I
long
was
ago,
gonna say,
though. Like,
how's his speech after the stroke? Is it pretty
speech was fine, but his like he was having trouble like keeping up with the conversation. He actually had an iPad that was giving him captions during the podcast in live, like real time while Joe was saying it, and he was having trouble with some of that. But overall, I think he articulated himself okay. But
Hmm.
yeah, anyways, it was good. You should definitely listen to it. But anyways, yeah, moving on to fishing. So yeah, so it's fall.
Sorry.
So it's election night. It's November 5th. We're in the uh I would say towards the end of fall. It's definitely not winter yet, especially with the way the temperatures have been. I mean, you're
Yeah, it's
talking
been in
like,
the 60s.
yeah, which I always think it's like what triggers those fish. You always hear like photo period, it's like, okay, like, yeah, the days have gotten way shorter. And then you have temperature, which that is not, even hardly. We were reading like mid 50, low 60 water on a lake
Yeah.
on Sunday. Um, and then combine that with the fact the water around here and a lot of the country is historically low. It's like a pretty difficult, like, it's I this is not the year where you're like, dude, I crushed it in the fall. Like this is a weird thing. You can't fall back on patterns when conditions are like this. So I don't know about you, dude. I'm freaking. I want two things. I want cold weather, consistent
Mhm.
cold weather for a couple weeks, and I want
Right.
some friggin' rain. We need some rain, dude. We got to get some flow.
Yeah.
We need a big
Well,
blowout.
it's raining right now, buddy. Maybe we'll get it. I don't know what the weather looks like over the next few days, but
Yeah, we've
let me
gotten
see.
some.
It's
We've
supposed
gotten
to rain
some.
again on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, we're getting some. I feel like we're so far behind though
Yeah,
that I
we need a lot.
don't. Yeah,
We need like a flood.
yeah, we need some like crazy amount of rain. But I mean,
Yeah.
anything helps. But I definitely we need some rain, and that leads to what I would say has become you and I's favorite. I don't know about pre-spawn's always going to have my heart
Yeah.
because
Same.
you're coming out of
Coming out
winter,
of winter.
it's like everything's starting to get green. The fish are just like waking up. It's like this glorious transitional period. But for catching, if I had to put like, I have 2 months to catch the most 20-inch fish of the entire year. It is going to be December and January every time.
I
Like
know.
every time. Like,
Probably wouldn't have said that 10 years ago, but definitely wouldn't have said it
no,
10 years ago.
we
But
wouldn't
yeah.
say we went like 3 winters without even catching a single smallmouth. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, hey, people are starting to leave. You should do your thing before people leave because I think people are wanting to go watch the actual election results. So you should do it while
When
you
are they even close to calling it?
yeah, I mean it's stuff's getting called.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's people. I think Necrelli said he was leaving. I don't think anybody else is leaving.
Yeah.
Um
Well,
Necrelli, you better stick around, dude. You gotta see
well,
this
I'm
leaderboard.
excited to hear about it. So what do we so first of all, I want to hear some statistics about Smalley games because I haven't really been keeping up with it, but how many people did you end up having
Did you
participate?
did you mean like keeping up with it as in submitting any of your fucking fish? Is that what you're trying to
I don't
say?
think that the total includes any of my fish
Because
this year.
here's
Let's
the
just say
thing,
that.
boys,
I
Indiana boys. If we don't come out on top, there's only one man to blame, and he's right there on the side of the screen.
I did have, I think 15 20s this year that just didn't make their way
Yeah, yeah,
into the
pretty shameful, dude. I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie, but I purposely, um, I hope Jeff Daly's on here because he throws a lot of shade my way for doing the whole like, oh, you run Smalley games, he's cheating, all that. And I purposefully I do not like try to get people to submit fish. Like I encourage them to play, but like I knew Chris had fish he could submit. there's also a couple other guys I know that have fish they could submit. And I kind of am like, you know what? Like, I'm only gonna, not gonna
You,
hound them for it. I'm
you
gonna
didn't
let,
hound me. You brought it
yeah,
up a few times, but you didn't hound me for sure.
yeah, yeah. Especially towards the end, I wasn't trying to do any sort of.
You're not trying to influence the election, is what you're saying.
I'm not trying to influence the election. But as far as statistics, I usually do like a small games by the numbers every year. We were we were uh I think around 200 this year players, so you know quite a bit more than the year before. We had a little bit different game this year, where we broke it up into 4 levels, and it was really fun. I don't know what we're gonna do next year. Um, I will say this, and I'll just announce this on the podcast. You can't hold it to me 100% because it's not finalized yet. But here's the plan. Let's see what you think.
Okay.
I think everybody likes this 20-inch leaderboard almost as good as the actual games themselves. And
Right.
everybody likes seeing the updates and all that stuff.
Right.
And so I was like, it would be fun to do some kind of winter program thing, but I don't have the capacity to run a whole separate Smalley game. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Smalley Games Frozen Edition. Okay. It's gonna run December. I'm not sure if we're gonna do December, January, and February, or just December and January. I haven't decided yet. But we're gonna just basically have one game piece, anything over 18 inches, doesn't matter. And we're going to do a leaderboard of a state leaderboard of which state catches the most fish in the wintertime. And you basically going to there's no board or anything. We're just going to have one little sticker. So you can put the stickers on your boat or whatever, like I do. No board though, just order the stickers, and we're going to keep track of all the fish from December. Let's just say December, January for right now. But I think it'll be pretty fun. It'll get the hardcores out.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of we did have a question.
Are you gonna do Frozen themed?
Yeah, there's the idea behind the sticker. We're gonna have it's gonna be like a smallmouth that's like icicles hanging off of it and stuff. It's gonna be pretty cool. So let's see. Roy Rowland asked on YouTube, I'd love to hear what you guys want to do going into warm winter. It's been a tough low water here in Tennessee too. We have had success in low water in the wintertime. I don't think warm. I think we wait until it cools down. And the warmer the winter, I feel like the later we get started. Like last year, it was unusually warm, and we didn't really get onto them until January.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas
usually like around the week before Christmas, Josh and I usually have it's like a semi tradition. We usually get out and do like a day, like skip work for a day and go. And usually that's like one of the better trips of the whole year, it just sort of lines up that way every year. But this last year we went and I don't think we did very well. I think it took until like mid-January for us to really start hammering them. So
yeah, we have gotten in low water. This is what I'll say, like your best, and I used to never think that this was the case, but like the best winter fishing literally is cold with a absolute blowout. Like your river's like flooded, like blowout. Like that is the absolute best time to go. Because those fish will, if you got to know where the winter holes are to begin with. If you don't,
I don't know about absolute blowout, but just high flows, I think.
Dude, I'll take the tippy as high as it will get. Like,
yeah,
maybe not like, like unsafe, but probably unsafe for like a kayak, I would say. Like think about it. The times where we've had like some awesome times, like dude, our trolling motor was
it pushes them into a small area is the reason. It gets them.
Yeah.
It moves them like. Whereas in low water, there's not enough. The areas of low flow are much larger, and the fish are just more spread out. But when the water gets high in winter, those winter spots gets pretty small, the spots that are actually protected. So
we did have a comment refuting our fall take. Colton Smith, fall is an absolutely great time to be on the water, throw blade bait and paddle tail easy. We're definitely not saying that fall isn't good. We're just saying this year.
I'm not good at it.
Yeah, you're not exactly. No, I mean low water where we're at in the fall, you almost just can't fish anywhere. Like at least in their jets, like you can get out in the kayak and stuff, but like it depends on like the Susquehanna fish pretty good in low water. But there's just so much more water to get around out there. Here when it's low here, dude, it's like you're like seeing the tops of rocks everywhere. Like it's not good. Like it's not good at all. We just don't have the size of water to support a good bite when it's that low. No, but getting back to the leaderboard, yeah, we had quite a few states represented this year in the leaderboard, and this is just where 20s were caught. I am not pulling this up from like the games in total. These are just where 20s were caught. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 states where
15? Okay.
Yeah, where 20s were caught. And I would say there's probably at least 10 more states that guys signed up and just didn't record a 20. So, probably half of the United States is represented in smallie games. Like I said, I'll do like an official sort of small games by the numbers where I go through. I know that there were, I want to say it's 357 20-inch or larger fish caught during smallie games. So that's a lot, dude.
350. Wow.
357, I believe, was
That's
the
pretty
number.
good.
That was a lot, dude. Yeah, I was
there.
Yeah. So I made a little slide here. Will you give me a drum roll? You a drum roll?
Sure.
that was a half-ass drum roll, dude. All right, we're gonna add this to the stage here. All right. So this is a little slide that I did. So I'm gonna count down from the bottom of the leaderboard to the top. So there were let's see here, 3 states tied at 13 that only had one smallmouth, 120-inch smallmouth, with North Carolina with one 20-inch smallmouth.
Weak.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Weak.
Is weak. You know what's weak is we have somebody in the chat, David Williams. David, you still on here? Well, where are you at, brother? Where are you at, Kentucky? I know he caught way more than 120-inch smallmouth.
That dude's a fucking hammer.
Yeah, he is. And then we had New York. Is that a good accent?
No, it actually wasn't bad. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
New York.
Nice.
Yeah. So Joe Links. Whoa! I didn't mean to do that. So and then we had 12th Tennessee, and it's like these. People always talk about states and stuff. Like this isn't necessarily indicative of how well your state fishes. It's more just like the fishermen enthusiasm in that state, their willingness to submit fish, all that has to go into it. We all know New York has way more than one 120-inch smallmouth caught during the year. It's just like we didn't have guys that were playing in New York. So same thing with Tennessee. Tennessee has a great sort of heritage of smallmouth fishing.
Heritage. I would never. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What else am I supposed to say?
I don't know.
I mean, they hold the world record, so I feel like that's a heritage.
That is heritage. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's where that word came from. And then tied for 10th, we had I think 2 Michigan. I caught at least one 20-incher in Michigan this year, so shame on you, you Michiganders. You should have showed out more than that. Oregon with 3. That's pretty cool to see.
Repping.
Yeah,
nice.
Pacific Northwest. Yeah, pretty cool. Iowa, our boy
Alex,
our boy Quillback, dude, doing work doing work in the what is it? The Cornhusker State? No, that's Nebraska.
That's
What's
Nebraska.
Iowa? What's
Hawkeyes.
Iowa? Yeah, but what's the like state called?
Oh, you mean like they're like ours is Crossroads of America?
Yeah, what's Iowa's like nickname? What do we
Um,
got here,
it
Magner? Where
says
you
it.
at, bud?
Our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain. That can't be right. It's
Yeah,
it's the Hawkeye State. I was
okay.
right. Yeah, it's
Hawkeye
Hawkeye State.
State. I like
Yeah.
that. So let's see here. Colton Smith replied. He said he didn't mean to be arrogant about fall. We totally took it offensively, Colton. So
Good.
screw you, dude. You're an arrogant son of a bitch. Get off our chat. No, we're just joking. No, we know we're just messing with you. So and then you have let's see here. Now we're getting into the big players.
Oh,
Now we're starting to
we're talking.
We're leveling up here. We're leveling up.
Ooh, and I actually saw somebody from West Virginia posting that he's recruited some help.
I spelled it wrong. I would put West Virginia.
West Virginia.
I like that, dude. That's what we're gonna call it from now on, West Virginia.
Wow, that's good stuff. West Virginia.
Yeah, so I know Mikey Holcomb, he called me the other day. We had a lengthy chat on the phone about fishing and stuff. He just recently caught his personal best 22-inch smallmouth
nice
out there. So I actually I told him it wouldn't count towards the games, but I would send him a sticker. So I did put that in the mail today, Mikey. So you got that coming, bud. So West Virginia, 26.
West Virginia, nice showing, West Virginia.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of those were lake smallmouth. I knew know that. So, even though that is the home of the famed New River. All right, number 7, Minnesota. That was that was a good one. That was a good accent.
Was atrocious. That sucked so bad. Minnesota. You're doing too much on it. Yeah, it's too much. You're Hispanic the way you're saying it. It's not Minnesotan at all.
Eric Scrivener is up there doing work. I think he had the majority of those. So good job, Minnesota.
Awful.
Coming in number 6, the Commonwealth of Randy Long, dude. With 39 now. I can't wait for Ryan Van Time to get on here and claim how Pennsylvania actually won because Randy is from Pennsylvania. Let me tell you something. For one, if you're only going to claim winning because one of your anglers' fish were disqualified, then you didn't deserve to win. It's only one guy. And 2, Randy said he would not play unless he seceded from the union. He seceded from the state of Pennsylvania. So that was the only way we were getting that guy to play. And I feel like it was a down year for Randy. It was a little bit of a down year. I think he had some stuff going on. He had some low water to contend with. He couldn't get that jet on that skinny water. So, I think it hampered him a little bit. So
yeah, only 39. What a shitty year.
I think he had like 70 last year. That's why I say it was a down year for him. So now Pennsylvania may not have won this thing, but they did beat the grandfather of Randy Long, Pennsylvania, coming in the top 5 with 41. So Van Tyne, you better rub that in Randy's face, dude. Randy's on the chat right now. Just rub it in Randy's face that he didn't beat his own state, dude. Like I feel like he's never gonna live that down.
My God.
So yeah. So Pennsylvania.
Randy just comments, loser.
Yeah.
You poked the demon. He's gonna come after you.
Rand Demon, dude. Don't want to sick the Rand Demon on anybody. Yeah, so Randy was out there using the prototype right now, testing it out. Testing it out
Not
on
anymore.
this.
He's gonna flush him with that.
Yeah. All right. So going in top 4 here, getting pretty exciting. So Virginia, not West Virginia, just Virginia.
Virginia.
Virginia with 44. I feel like Virginia wasn't really in on the games last year, and there's a handful of dudes that are from Virginia that kind of bought in and really fished hard this year and put together a pretty good showing. And to be honest, they would probably have finished higher had they not got that huge flood from the hurricane. So as their rivers essentially were blown out from like the end of September until the end of the game. So that
wow.
I feel like that was one of those variables you can't do anything about. But yeah, kudos to those guys for putting in some work. A lot of river fish. I think the majority of fish were river fish from there. So good job to the Virginia crew.
And I have to apologize. I just realized I've been eating ice while we're recording this podcast. Perhaps the most offensive thing I've ever done on the air. I am so sorry. I don't even know. I just realized what I was.
You want me to start clicking a pin? You eat ice at the same time.
Behavior. So sorry. Go ahead.
So Virginia with 44. We get into the top 3 here. So, you have to sing the song that's associated with this place as soon as I click it over, Chris.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, Canada. That's all I know.
I know that's what I was gonna say. Oh, Canada. All right. So Canada, which we're stretching a little bit here, calling this a state, but it's an entire country.
It is a nation state. Yeah.
Yeah. We had, and they were all from Ontario. So it was a province inside of Canada. So it wasn't, the entire
They have
country.
NBA teams. They've got MLB teams, NHL. It's basically the United States of Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They count.
So,
they're on the team. Let's just put it that way.
So we had a couple guys that were in on that, and I wanted to shout out Joey DiCenzo. He was in, I don't know if he's in the magazine, but he was in the Bassmaster article for breaking a lake record.
Oh, nice.
Smallmouth. And Achigan was a sponsor for his. He had a Achigan logo on his shirt on both of their jerseys. So it was kind of cool. We sponsored them. They got in Bassmasters. So Achigan logo. Second time that I've seen it in Bassmasters. I will give you $100 gift card to anybody who makes it on Bassmasters and wears an Achigan shirt. So, and Mikey Holcomb was actually in Bassmaster magazine. Shamedly, he did not have his Achigan hoodie on. So shame on you, Mikey. If you submit another picture to Bassmaster, please make sure you're wearing a Smallies hat or shirt.
You would invest into the summer wear idea that I've
mesh shirt,
just a mesh,
never gonna go
open
away.
concept mesh shirt for summertime fishing that has a Achigan on it. It would make it in Bassmasters. That's all I'm gonna say.
And Jeff is on here trash talking Joey because he didn't participate in the wild cards, which I would say is valid. Joey did not adhere to the spirit of the games by doing the wild cards, which is one of the most fun things to do in the games. We're picking up trash, we're catching trash fish, we're doing all kinds of crazy, making homemade lures, all kinds of stuff. So it was a cool thing. They did not participate, so I'll back Jeff on that. All right, we got a lot of trash talking here in the comments.
I just disagree with the concept of backing Jeff wholesale.
That's probably
I'm gonna go with Joey on that, whatever it was.
Yeah, I know. All right, here's the moment we've all been waiting for. Now, if anybody's been following along, there's been two states that have been up. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's actually wasn't. It was one state that's been at the top. It's been your boys. Been the Hoosier boys that have been at the top pretty much the entire season. Jeff says, Chris, I heard an ambulance outside go.
Where? You have one of my business cards? I get it.
But the Hoosier boys have been on top. We have some like really, 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 really good anglers in Indiana. So we've been working hard. I've worked hard. I worked my ass off for a lot of the 20s that I caught. Had a great year. But it wasn't just me. It was a combined effort. And then the only other state left is the Buckeye boys. So we got
I just envision you presenting this achievement to Katie, just like, I work my ass off for this.
I'm definitely doing that tonight. Should get me laid, right? Like I should at least get
you're
laid
gonna
for
be
it.
able to give her a very, very Midland wienering.
Don't worry, dude. We're celebrating tonight. We're celebrating tonight, babe. Put on your lingerie.
Mid wienering that anyone's ever given.
Oh man. That's the only thing I know how to give. Mid
Hey man, dude, that's consistent.
Yeah. As in Chris's words, this is a long time ago. He's like, my wife always says like,
No.
do I pleasure her if my, does size matter? Does size matter? This is what Chris is like, I don't know, but I get off every time.
100%, dude.
100% of the time. All right. So going into the last two, this is gonna give it away right here. We have a tie, dude. We got a tie. I ran these numbers and I was like, oh my God. We ended up Indiana, Ohio tied 53 smallies each. So pretty cool. I like that. I was like considering, I'm like, do I need to do a recount? I was like, yeah,
I think you guys should do the tiebreaker based on the results of the Indiana Ohio State football game coming up in a couple weeks.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I feel like you
Victor know the absolute spoils.
Yeah, and Ryan, there is no recounts, by the way, because it's a report I run. So it's no manual. We don't have hanging
recount.
We don't have any hanging chads around here, but it's just how many 20-inch pieces are ordered.
This is an operation run out of Josh's basement. There are no records. There are no records. They've deleted the metadata. It's gone.
So. Yeah, and I will say the Myers had one that he ordered really late, one, and then we had a guy who he has a few this year, but Luke Jackson, he went on a trip and had 3 that he ordered, and that was the 3 that gave us, into the tie. So pretty cool. Randy, shut up. So basically, 53 each. I was gonna think about how to do a tiebreaker, like who had the most over 21 or over, but I feel like we just called a tie. I like it. I think it's good. I think it'll extend the rivalry for another year. I feel like next year we're gonna do the same thing, and it's gonna be,
maybe the tiebreaker should be the Frozen.
Yeah, I thought about that. That would be unfair if me and you go out there, because we're gonna wreck them this winter time, dude.
Well, dude, a great showing from Indiana and Ohio, and I think that it's interesting to see that there's so much participation, and because obviously I don't think it has a lot to do with the quality of fisheries. So, if Minnesota ever got fired up, if the Gophers
if Minnesota ever had 2 anglers, they would have wiped them going.
If the Gophers got rolling, it'd be a real problem child for you. So, but yeah, very good, very cool.
Or Michigan,
to the
or Wisconsin.
I would like for you to highlight a little bit more, like this year on the social media stuff, about what you guys do for the people who achieve bronze master, because I thought that was. I think if people were aware of like what they would, the kind of prize pack that they get at the end of it, it may cause people to take the extra initiative to go for it, because I thought that the stuff that you guys do and to kind of roll out and reward that is pretty cool. So
yeah, I agree. I really don't even know what we're gonna do this year. Last year we did a challenge coin and a shirt, certificate, we did a hat and certificate. So, Mikey, I do not know that. I've never run a report to see how many anglers are from Ohio and Indiana. I would say Indiana's got to have the most anglers just because that's where, we're from. And,
Yeah.
but what we lack in fishable water that's anything more than a garbage trickle,
Yeah.
we make up for with the hammers and numbers
Just
of them.
sheer bass burgers relentlessness.
Sheer bass burgers. Yeah. Well,
Alright,
dude,
man.
that's about all I got. What anything
No,
else?
no,
Uh,
nothing else. I'm sorry for all the political talk at the beginning of this podcast. Yeah, it's very beta male-esque, so
I
my
liked it,
apologies.
dude. I think it's good. Um, but yeah, thanks
Alright.
for all the guys showing up in the comments.
Yeah,
Appreciate all
man.
the Smalley Games players. We had a really good time this year, and we'll do the Frozen thing. Um, I nominated Jeff Daly to be the commissioner for next year's Smalley
Bizarre.
Games. So we're gonna see if he's up for the challenge. I don't know if he's gonna take it on or not, but you boys might be under the what's the nickname for the Russian government?
Yeah.
Was it the
The
Iron
Kremlin?
Fist? The
The
Iron
Kremlin?
Fist. We're
Yeah.
gonna no, Jeff's gonna be the Iron Fist. He's gonna
The
be
Iron Stash.
denying submissions, dude. He's gonna be sending emails just saying, "Nope, sorry, dude. Fisher's mouth is cracked open."
You're gonna be living
So
under the rule of the Iron Stash also. So,
but yeah, dude, that's all I got. We had fun on Sunday. Let's see who our next president is. Hopefully, when we wake up in the morning, we'll have some clarity on it. So,
absolutely. Appreciate
so
you guys.
yeah.
Free the
Till
fighter.
next time, free the fighter, baby.
Let's just awkwardly sort of stare at each other while we're still